Debt is usually a reality of modern marriage, whether it's a mortgage on a home, a loan from the family vehicles, or the all too pervasive credit cards. But how do we deal with debt in a divorce? Hi everybody, I'm Sean Ramirez, a divorce and custody attorney here at Frazier Ramirez Law in Albuquerque. Almost every time I have a consultation with new clients, they are always quick to tell me that certain debts, like credit cards, are in their spouse's name only. Usually they think that since the debt isn't in their name, that they're not going to have to be responsible for it after the divorce. However, this simply isn't true. Debts acquired during the marriage are generally considered to be obligations of the community. And so, just like assets in a marriage, debts also need to be equitably divided. We talked about what equitably dividing things looks like in a prior video discussing assets. If you haven't watched that yet, I suggest you go back and take a look at it now. Let's go back to our favorite divorcing couple, Dick and Jane. Jane has a $10,000 credit card that she took out during the marriage. It's in her name alone. They both purchased some new furniture on credit, and there's still a balance of about $5,000. So how do we split this? It does not make sense to split it down the middle and make them each pay 1/2 of the monthly payments to each account each month. This is not practical and keeps the two somewhat financially intertwined after the divorce. The last thing they will want to do is call the other and ask why their half of the monthly payment is late. So in this situation, it would make sense for Jane to keep her credit card debt and for Dick to be responsible for the furniture debt. But now Jane has $5,000 more in debt than Dick. This can be resolved in a couple ways. Maybe Jane gets an additional $5,000 in assets. Or maybe Dick has to make a one-time payment that we call an equalization payment. In either case, you can see how there can be a balancing act between equitably dividing the assets and debts of a marriage. And sometimes you might have to get creative. Now, what happens if Dick doesn't make the payments on the furniture credit account? Is Jane off the hook? Yes and no. The finance company is not bound to follow your divorce paperwork, and they can try to collect from Jane in this case. However, usually the marital settlement agreement contains language that requires that the responsible spouse indemnify and hold harmless the other spouse. This just means that the responsible spouse has to make things right, and if not, then in this case, Jane could take Dick back to court to enforce the marital settlement agreement. The American poet Ogden Nash said, "Some debts are fun when you are acquiring them, but none are fun when you set about retiring them." And this is never more true than it is when it's part of a divorce. Once again, this has been Sean Ramirez from Frazier and Ramirez Law.